Hi, Silver Creek teachers. I've got some more topics to cover for you today to help you out. We're going to do some things in Schoology, some things in Infinite Campus, and some things in Google Meet. You can see the list right here of what we're going to be working on. Before we get started, I want to apologize for some of the audio in this. I was recording some of this from my desk setup at school, and the mic was all out of whack. So I apologize that some of these are going to sound a little bit rough. But the information is still helpful. Let's get started. Let's talk about how you can look up sent emails that you sent using Infinite Campus. You can do this pretty simply. Go to Communication, Sent Message Log, and this will let you see all the messages. These are the two that I've sent today. If you want to find older ones, you could put in your date range. I'll go all the way back to August 6th, hit Find Messages, and now you can see all of them. If you click on one, you can see who it was sent to, which class, what it said, and the day that it was sent. If you want to be able to find this an easier way, if you go back out to the front page of Infinite Campus, here at the top there's a search bar. You type in Sent Messages. You can find Sent Message Log, and there you are at the same page. Thanks Maggie Epke for asking this question about how you can set up your Schoology gradebook. So thanks Maggie and all the teachers over there at Silver Creek Primary. So I'm here in a fake news class. It's just a fake class that I made. And I'm going to walk you through your gradebook setup. I'm going to start by going to Grade Setup here on the left-hand side. And you'll be brought to this page where the main thing that you want to do here is add some categories. I'm going to click on this Add button, and I'm going to make a category called Homework. I'm deciding to calculate this by points because it's easiest. The drop lowest allows you, if you want to drop the lowest score, it'll do that automatically for you. I'm just going to keep that set to 0 so it won't drop any scores. And hit Create. While I'm here, I'm also going to create a test category under the same parameters. Now I'm going to back out to my class, and I'm going to make a homework assignment and a test. So my homework assignment is going to be Add Assignment, and this is going to be reading. And I'm just going to ask students to read nothing that's here. Read this. There won't be anything here, but that's fine. Due date, I'll make this due on Friday, August the 28th. Make it worth 10 points. When I click category here, the categories that will show up here will be the ones that I created from my grade setup. So I'm going to select homework. Factor, grade period, all this stuff is fine as it is. Syncing, you want to keep this checked if you're planning on syncing this to our SIS. That's School Information System. Our SIS is Infinite Campus. So if you want to sync this across, make sure that button is checked. All the rest of this is fine. I'm going to hit Create. Now we have an assignment called Reading. And if I go to my gradebook, you can see I have 2 students enrolled in this class, and there is a reading assignment now. It automatically populates this into the gradebook. Now I will go back and make a test, add assessment for my test. This is called test. Again, this is going to be due on the 28th. I will allow submissions to happen from the 28th at 9 a.m. to the 28th at midnight. Category, this time I'll select test as my category and hit create. This is where you would make your actual test with all of the same great test making functions that Schoology has built into it. I'll ask a simple question here, true or false. And the correct answer is obviously false. Let's save that. Great, what a great test. Back out to our class. And now you can see in our gradebook, now we have a test column that has been added worth 100 points. And again, this is created automatically. When the students take the test, or if they do the assignment, they will get, their scores will show up right here. If you push this Sync Changes to Infinite Campus, this will automatically send these scores over to the Infinite Campus class associated with this course, and it will show up automatically. I have a video that came out last week that shows you how to sync Infinite Campus and Schoology. You can watch that if you want more information. That's the simple version of how to set up your gradebook for Schoology. It can get more complicated and you can do some other cool things, but for, I imagine, most primary students, that should be sufficient. I've got a question here again from Valerie Anderson about Schoology tests and ways you can add instructions in between questions. I'm in here with my fake news class, and I'm going to hit tests. And I've already started to make a test from before. I'm going to very quickly add another question type, a true-false question. True or false? What a terrible question. And the answer, of course, is false, and I'll hit save. Now, I did this so that I could show you what this looks like. I now have two questions in this test, a multiple choice and a true and false. If I push preview up here, I can see what this is going to look like for the actual students. So the first question, one of two, comes up here and it says A or B. The next question is true or false. On the student side, they don't see a whole list of questions the way they might in something like Google Forms. If you used to give tests in Google Forms, they only see each of the questions individually, and they're allowed to skip from in between their questions whenever they want here on the right. That means that the instructions that you want for each section need to be copied in for each section. I'll show you what I mean by that. If you have a section of multiple choice questions that all are going to have the same instructions, here at the beginning you want to have question setup explain all of the instructions for this question. And then here I will put the question. So I'll say A or B. This is A. This is B. Okay. Now, when I go back into my test, you can see what this looks like for the student side. All of the instructions, and then A or B. So if you wanted to have a multiple choice questions that all had the same basic instructions, you would actually want to copy and paste this section in the test setup for each of those different questions. And you can do that by selecting what you want, hit copy, Control C is what I hit. And then if you make a new question type, I'll do a multiple choice. Control V, now I get that same set of instructions with a new question. A new question. A new question? This one. Now I can go back into my questions. You can see here they are. By the way, now you can see that, oh no, I have a multiple choice that I made here that's in the wrong spot. You can grab this. I'm just left clicking on the blue bar and I can reorder these. So if you want to have all of your questions be sequential, all the same types of questions be sequential, this is how you can do that. Now if I go into preview this, start new attempt, you can see here are my instructions for question A or B. And if I go over to the next question, there's the same instructions with a new question. I strongly recommend doing this because students can skip around all over the place. They can go from question 3 to question 10 to question 9. And if the instructions are important for your question, you want to make sure that the instructions are included in each and every question. While we're here, there's a couple of other questions I've received from teachers about how do I change the points for this. There's a couple of different ways, and this can be a little bit confusing. Let's say that I want my true and false question down here to be worth 15 points. I can change the number of points for this question, which now means that, okay, this is worth 15 points. And this means that total, this test is now worth 17 points, 1 plus 1 plus 15. If I change this to 2, you can see that updates to 18 points. Now, what if I have a multi-part question where I want each of the things to be worth something different? I'm going to create a matching question here, and I'll show you how you can do this. And I'm just going to create quickly some matching things. Match the number with letter. You can see that I've now created a simple matching question. Match the number with the letter. And the way that these show up here is actually important. You might want to mix these up. You can grab those 3 lines and mix all your questions up. Now you have to set the correct answer. C, I want to be set with 3. A is 1. D is 4, and B is 2. Here is where you can actually change the value for each one of your individual matching things. If you go to what I would suggest is partial match and then penalty score of 1. Exact match means that students would have to get exactly this. They would have to get C with 3, A with 1, D with 4, B with 2. And they'd have to get that exactly right in order to get all of the points. Partial match means that if they miss one of these, they can still get the other partial credit correct. Penalty score is the number, the amount of points that they get wrong for each one of those that they miss. And I'm actually going to change this to 2 for a reason I'll show you in a moment. Now I'm going to hit save on this question. And now here I am with our matching. And you can see, even though this matching only has 4 individual questions inside of it, the total question is only worth 1 point. That's going to end up doing some really weird things to your math. I'm going to change this to be 8. Why 8? Well, there are 4 individual questions, and I could add more if I wanted, but I'm just going to keep it for 4 for now. And I want each of these questions to be worth 2 points, which is why I have the penalty score here. That means if a student misses 3 of these, they can still get 2 points correct. If they miss 2 of these, they can still get 4 points correct, and so on and so forth. And I'll show you what this looks like on the preview side. I'm going to skip to question 4. And now you have the same setup, and you can drag each one of your matching questions over here. And I'm going to get one of these wrong, so I'll put 4 with that and this with that. Finish. And it doesn't show you this on the other side. Cut all that previous stuff, Alex. So that is how you create a matching question that is worth multiple points inside of that actual question. You set it with partial score and the penalty score, or partial match and the penalty score, and then you change the total number of points that that question is worth. So I have a question here from Ellen Sherrill over at the high school about how we can comment on student assignments once they've been turned in. So I'm going to go in here to my Blue 1 concert band class because I've got some assignments that I need to grade. And right here, there's a reminder that says I have 9 ungraded assignment submissions. I'm going to click on that. That's the name of the assignment. You can see I have some students here. And I'm going to click on Valerie. And this will bring up, she turned in a video of herself playing, so she's clapping and counting there. And you can see there's a window over here at the right-hand side. And I can type in comments right here, and I'll say that she did a great job. You passed. And I'll post that. This will show up on the student side as an actual comment. And if she had a question, maybe if I made a correction, she could put her response to this here, and we could have a little conversation over here in the window about this very assignment. I'm going to go ahead and give her a grade of 10. And a grade comment, which does not always show to the student, can be typed here, passed. But if I click show to student, then that will show it to the student. Push submit, and that will go into her gradebook as being submitted. Here's a quick one about Google Meet. It's a simple Chrome extension that you can use to flip the way that your Google Meet screen appears to you. So if you've noted that your Google Meet screen seems mirrored from the way you want it to, this is a simple little app that will switch that for you. It's just Video Mirror in the Chrome Web Store. And I will include the link to this in the video below. Let's talk about how you can record your Google Meet classes. Now I'm here at meet.google.com. You type that in at the top search bar, and you have the option here to join or start a meeting. I'm going to start a meeting, which is going to be called test. And you will get this screen, which is going to try to initialize your camera and your microphone. Now I'm using both of those things right now to record this video, so it's not going to work for me. But for you, you should have your feed from your camera show up right here. If it's not working, or if it's using the wrong camera on your Chromebook, if you click the 3 little dots here, you can go to Settings, and then you can select a different camera. all of the cameras that you have installed will show up right here. Same thing with the microphone. You want to make sure you're using the correct microphone for the device that you want, and the speakers. You'll notice that as I'm speaking, the little lines here are moving. That means this microphone is the one that's active currently. And if you push the test button, you'll get a sound come across that will let you know that those are the speakers that are currently being used. Once everything is configured the way you want to, push the green Join Now button. This little dialog box is going to pop up, and you want this code right here, the https://meet blah 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 PXV, in this case CUBXFVQ. That is this Google Meet's code. If you were to copy and paste that, I'm going to push Control-C on my keyboard, and then go to Schoology or an email and push Control-V to copy that, or paste that, sorry. You could send that to another student or another colleague, and you could have your Google Meet set up that way. There are other ways, of course, that you can do this. You can add people here, and you can add directly anybody who you would like onto your Google Meet. Or if you would like, you can make a calendar event in Google Calendar and add a Google Meet to that calendar. But for now, we're just going to show you the basics of how to record the class and how to get access to it. I assume that you know the basics of how Google Meet works. If not, you can email me and maybe I'll make a video about that in the future. So to record this class now, we're going to go down to these three little dots and find Record Meeting and click that. It's going to ask for consent. Basically, we have to make sure that everybody who's in this Google Meet knows that it's being recorded. Hit accept, and now it's recording. You can still do everything you normally would. You can go into present mode and show your screen, or you can show the other screen. Now you can see my OBS screen that's capturing everything right now. And all of this stuff is all wonderful. Once I'm done with this, I'm going to end the call. And I will get an email that says, hey, you just had a Google Meet and we've now got it in your Google Drive. Let me show you where all that goes. Your Google Meet is automatically connected to your personal Google Drive. So as long as you're the person who is recording it, it will show up automatically in your Google Drive. And you can see my band class that I met with and recorded this morning is right here. It's a previously done one. And you can click this and it plays just like a YouTube video. And that's all fine.
Make sure you're doing your thing.
But I can share this video as well. So if I right click on the video, I get the share button and the share accessible link button. I'm going to start with the share button. You can directly share this with people here. So if I wanted to send this to my colleague over at the middle school, I could do that. Or I could send them a direct link to this. I'll show you how to do that. I'll send that to Mrs. Jocham. If I want to send them a direct link, I could click the Get Shareable Link. And this will allow me to share this to any student or anyone else who wants to be able to see it. So I'm going to start by clicking the Copy Link button, then change this restricted to anyone with link, push Done. And now I can copy and paste that link into Schoology or onto an email or an Infinite Campus group message, and I can keep a recording of all of my previous classes. And this is what I do in my Schoology class. So I'll jump into my Schoology here and allow you to see that I have a page called Daily Recordings, and I keep a running list of all of my classes right here for my students to be able to watch. So if they missed a day's work, they can go back and watch the actual in-class video of what we did that day. This way, you're not going back to do work multiple times. You teach the class once, and for the kids who are synchronous with you, they can watch that live with you. And for the kids who are asynchronous, they can go back and watch this when they have the time. This cuts down on your workload significantly, and it just involves you doing a little bit of cutting and pasting here and there. A shout out to Ivy Livers at the Silver Creek High School for putting together this wonderful spreadsheet of tech guidance about various questions that you might have and links to where you can find the answer. She's created some great videos here. My previous videos are here, and other folks who you could reach out to if you think that you have a question. So if you want to know something about Bitmoji, you can get a hold of Cindy Mackey at the high school, and she can help you. And Ivy has included also these great links to the actual YouTube videos. This can be a great way for those of you who want to see if somebody has already asked a question, but you don't know where to go to find if the answer has been given. You can find it right here. I'll put a link to this down in the description. I hope those tips were helpful. As always, if you have any questions or anything else you'd like to see added for next week's video, please let me know. asmith@scsc.school. You folks are doing a great job out there. Thank you so much for all the work that you're doing to learn all this stuff to help you be the teacher that your students need. You're doing a great job out there. Let's keep teaching.